Hi students, today's topic is doubt. You may get doubt as short note in theory exam or you may get it as chart in practical. In chart, first you will be given a clinical problem and then you have to diagnose it, and from then there will be some questions. Now I am giving a clinical problem regarding doubt. A 40-year-old female patient attended emergency with complaint of sudden painful swelling in right great toe. She had knee pain for 3 years. On physical examination, right great toe was swollen, reddened, local temperature is elevated, and there is restriction of movement. She had similar family history. Her blood sample and joint aspiration fluid was sent to lab. Report shows serum uric acid 9 mg per dl, CRP 20 mg per liter, urea 32 mg per dl, creatinine 1.0 mg per dl, RBS 130 mg per dl. Joint aspiration fluid shows bifurcant urate crystals. Now, what is your provisional diagnosis? First, come to symptoms. Typical symptoms of gout is pain, swelling, and redness of great toe, and in this case, it is present. And when we are seeing the blood reports, serum uric acid is high, as normal serum uric acid level is 3 to 7 milligram per dl in male and 3 to 5 milligram per dl in female. CRP is also high and urea creatinine and RBS is normal. Now the joint aspiration fluid shows bifurcant urate crystals. This is typical of gout. So our diagnosis is gout. Next, come to gout. What is gout? Gout is a type of arthritis. It may be of primary or secondary. Most common site involved is distal joint of foot. And now causes of primary gout. In 10% cases, it is idiopathic. Rest, it may be deficiency of different enzyme of purine metabolism. One is abnormal 5-phosphoribosyl amidotransferase. Next is abnormal phosphoribosyl pyrophosphate synthetase. Next, deficiency of enzyme of salvage pathway. Next cause is glucose 6 phosphatase deficiency. This condition is also known as von Giarti disease. Now, what happens in von Giarti disease? Glucose 6 phosphate is converted to glucose by glucose 6 phosphatase enzyme. But as glucose 6 phosphatase is deficient, glucose 6 phosphate is channeled to pentose phosphate pathway and giving rise to more and more ribose 5 phosphate, that is channelized to purine metabolism and resulting in increased uric acid level. Now, sedentary gout. Causes of sedentary gout are maybe due to increased production or there is reduced excretion of this uric acid. Increased production there may be in different type of cancer, in leukemia, lymphoma, or trauma, starvation, or tumor lysis syndrome. Now, reduced excretion rate. It may be due to renal failure, thiazide diuretics, lactic acidosis, or ketoacidosis. Now, come to the clinical features. It is a type of acute arthritis. Initially, it involves single joint but may be polyarticular. Great toe or first metatarsophalangeal joint is the most common site that is affected. Symptoms usually begins in night with pain, swelling, warmth and tenderness. It spontaneously subsides after 3 to 4 days. There may be history of recurrent attacks. Now, what are the risk factors that may precipitate gout? One is dietary protein excess, next trauma, surgery, excessive alcohol, or hypouricemic therapy, or it may be seen in case of serious illness such as AMI or stroke. It may present as periarticular tophi. What is this periarticular tophi? It is nothing but aggregates of monosodium urate crystal surrounded by giant cells and inflammatory reaction. And what now? There may be extraarticular tophi. What are the common sites of this extraarticular tophi? One is olecranon bursa, next helix and antihelix of ears, ulnar surface of forearm and Achilles tendon. Gout may have some renal manifestation. What are those? Those are renal stones, or it may present as acute or chronic renal failure. Now, what are the diagnoses? How we will diagnose that the patient is suffering from this gout? First, we have to do synovial fluid analysis. Presence of both intraarticular and extraarticular needle-shaped, negatively birefringent monosodium urate crystals by polarizing microscopy is diagnostic of gout. There may be elevated serum uric acid, and we may also go for urine uric acid. If it is more than 800 milligram per day on regular diet or in absence of any drugs, it suggests hyperuricemia. Now, we have to also do some screening test to evaluate risk factors. We have to do serum creatinine, LFT, blood glucose, lipids, CBC. These are the common tests that we do for screening. Now, if we suspect overproduction, then we measure erythrocyte, hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase or phosphoribosyl pyrophosphate level. If we do joint X-ray, some typical features are seen in joint X-ray. What are those? Those are cystic changes, erosion with sclerotic changes. Now, come to the next point, that is treatment. First, under treatment, we can divide it into some broad headings. One is dietary restriction, next one is symptomatic management, and we may also use some uric acid lowering agents. For dietary restriction, we have to avoid seafood, red meat or alcohol. For symptomatic management, we have to do analgesics, or rather we have to give analgesics, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, colchicine, or intra-articular and systemic glucocorticoids may also be given. Now, while we are using colchicine, we have to remember that colchicine should be used as early as possible, most probably within 24 hours of symptoms. Now, what are the drugs that may be used in uric acid as? Now, what are the uric acid lowering agents that we can use? First one is xanthine oxidase inhibitors. allopurinol or febuxostat comes in this group. Uricosuric drugs. Example of uricosuric drugs is probenecid. Another one that we can use is pegloticase. Pegloticase is a recombinant uricase. Its function is it lowers uric acid by oxidizing urate to allantoin. Now this is all about drought.